stratified proportional. Stratified proportional. So if you have 45, if you need just to compute the sample size, and then out of the sample size you need to get from each level based on the total number of students per level, so that all the students from level 1 to 4 are well represented. Okay, may we know how you will gather your data? Your data gathering procedure, Miss Bindi, Shairami. Miss Shaira, will you please describe to us your data collection procedure? Am I audible?
Yes, po, ma'am.
Miss Shaira?
Okay lang po, mama. So for our data gathering procedure, so we, the researchers, ask permission to the ethics committee and the dean through writing a letter. Then we'll write consent letters with affixed signatures of the Dean of General Santos Doctors Medical School Foundation Incorporated, noted by the researcher's advisor requesting permission to conduct the study. Next, in order to obtain our study, the studies demanded respondents. So we, again, the researchers will be using the total population sampling technique to get the entire population of the respondents of the study, which is the first to fourth year college students of GSD-MSFI. After determining their respondents, we will now give a consent for our respondents. And then upon the approval of our research advisor, we will now set an appointment on when and how we will conduct our study. Also, our data will be collected using a researcher-made questionnaire with questions that will pertain to the source of their academic stress and their own coping mechanism. Also, lastly, the researchers-made questionnaire will be sent to the level coordinator so that coordinator that will be contributed via Google Forms and filled up by the respondents. After gathering the answers of our respondents, the data will then be analyzed, and then the researchers will then monitor and follow up the data into the corresponding sheet.
Okay. Ma'am Gretel?
Okay. So for my question, how do you relate this academic stress theory to your study? Can you elaborate about your chosen theoretical framework?
So according to the academic stress theory that is proposed by Campbell, Phillips, Halder, and Hasib, so academic stress is caused by personal inadequacies, fear of making mistakes, interpersonal difficulties with teachers, and teacher-student relationships, and poor study facilities. So we can relate this to the study because according also to the article of Raja Prabha and Selvi 2021 on the page 12, entitled Regression Analysis of the Academic Stress Among College Students. So college students are having academic stress due to different reasons. So this includes from their own family, friends, relatives, and neighbors, colleagues, professors, peers, and from their examinations. So additionally, the college students also experience undeniable degree of examination stress because of different reasons like insufficient preparation for examination, deficiencies in syllabus, lifestyle, memory limit, and lack of necessary information. And for the second theoretical framework, which is the monitoring blunting theory, so this states that individuals can respond to a threatening situation by either monitoring or avoiding the threatening information. So this theory is supported by Miller 2012.
Okay, thank you, Miss Williams.
That's it, I think, for the first round of questions. Are we going to proceed now with the title of their study? Let us have the first page. Correlates of academic stress and coping mechanisms of radiologic technology students during the pandemic. Do the panels have recommendations for the revision of their title, or are we going to accept this na? Okay na po. Or are we going to add COVID-19 pandemic? COVID-19 specifically, kasi in the long run, we don't know, or in the previous na, merong pandemic din, or in the future merong pandemic, so we don't know. So maybe let's just be specific. Okay? So I recommend siguro to be specific with the COVID-19 pandemic in the title. How about Dean? You have anything to say?
The term correlates, not necessarily I think that we need to na nandyan yung correlates. Pwede na kasi automatic academic stress and coping.
Okay, Dean. We will be omitting the correlates.
Yes, kindly omit the correlates.
Let's have academic
Your title.
stress and coping mechanisms of radiologic technology students during COVID-19 pandemic. Kindly take note, students. Sin makalimut ka. Okay? Sige. So, let's have a thesis presented to the Faculty of Radiologic Technology Program of General Santos Doctors Medical School Foundation Incorporated. Naka-double space yan. Acknowledgement. Have no problem with this. Indention lang. The researchers. Table of contents. I-run through na lang natin yung preliminaries. Remove the dots, please. And then let's have the introduction. Okay? So, do we have recommendations for their introduction? First thing is, just like with the previous group, please avoid too lengthy paragraph. You have a page there na one paragraph only the whole page. Kindly divide this. Okay? Kasi very lengthy na siya. Anyone? You have a statement in the first paragraph. Relationship, stress, school performance, time pressure, and other forms. I think this is of stress. All cause physiological reactions in the body that are comparable. What do you mean comparable? They are all comparable. Kindly review that statement, because I cannot understand what do you mean by that statement. And then on the second paragraph, you started with hence. So di ba the first paragraph is talking about stress, which is a problem among college students. On the second paragraph, you started with hence, and that pandemic na siya, no? Kindly make a connection between your first paragraph and the second paragraph. Kasi you did not actually talk about pandemic on the first paragraph, and here comes your second one starting with the word hence. Okay? Hence, so you are like, what do you mean by hence? You're concluding about something which is not really included in the first paragraph. Okay, again, pakiputol ng succeeding ng mga paragraphs because they are too lengthy, especially page number 3. It is one paragraph. It is actually extended to page number 4. That's how long it is. So please divide that. Okay. You want to add something, Ma'am Gretel and Dean, about their introduction?
Yes po. Sa akin naman, I have seen a statistical rate dito sa introduction ninyo. So, I have observed that some of these statistical rate do not have a reference. So, you should include the reference of your rates, no? Like for example, itong 4 out of 5 students are stressed out throughout the COVID-19 outbreak. 44.9% of the college students experience more than average levels of stress worldwide. So saan niyo po kinuha ninyo? Does your data prove that 44.9% really is kumbaga ba kailangan natin ng reliable source ng statistical data na ito. Okay, so i-cite nyo yan para sure tayo sa mga rates natin. Okay. So, may iba pa dito na nakita ko na may mga percentage. So ilagay nyo lang po yung mga reference ninyo. And also do not forget to put all your references or itong na-cite na mga authors dito to put all sa reference page ninyo.
Merong last paragraph sa introduction, Ma'am Raisa, parang no need to include that one here in the introduction kasi they have discussed about gens and doctors and then they added one paragraph. I think they need to remove that one na lang.
Yeah, in this study, the academic stress.
Yes, ay yung last paragraph.
Yung in this study, the academic stress is described as the body's reaction. Ito po.
Oo.
Yeah,
Parang-
yes po. If it is the definition of stress, you can actually place that in yung RRL or the scope and the delimitation.
Yes, they can move that to they can omit that one here and then they can transfer that to their RRL. Okay, because they're just merely describing the stress. Okay. In your readings pala, what are the manifestations that students are really under stress? Mr. Saripa. For example, what are the manifestations? Mr. Saripa. how would we know that that particular student is under stress? No, kasi your study is academic stress and coping.
Because we are in a new normal na po, ma'am. Hindi na po kagaya ng dati. Medyo nag-a-adjust pa yung mga student sa ganitong pamamaraan ng.
Okay. So, you made mention na because during this pandemic, you have a lot of adjustments. However, no, then nasabi nyo na stressful and for the students. What specific manifestations, Miss Legaspi? Kasi si Miss Legaspi parang hindi siya stress no? Fresh na fresh pa rin. Okay, parang hindi siya stress. Mukhang si Mr. Paragas na stress. Nag-stress eating tayo, Mr. Paragas. Dalawa tayo. Ahabol si Ma'am Gretel. Ikaw, Ma'am Esther, pag stress ka, kumakain ka din. Kami ni Dominic masarap kumain, di ba, Dominic? Miss Legaspi, ano pala, pag stress ka, ano ng academic stress? The level of factors. Level of factors kasi ang kanilang SOP.
So, ma'am, sa page 2 po, ma'am, in a recent nationwide survey conducted by the American College Health Association, that 41.5% of college students reported having more than the stress level of stress is ma'am, the college students struggle to have stress management techniques, possibly by the border. Some adjustment comes from the new pressure and of an increased academic workload po, ma'am. And also, ma'am, depression, anxiety, and behavioral issues, impatience, and other issues have been documented in students who are, ma'am, a lot of academic pressure po.
I think
So you're talking about mga physiologic signs, right? So yung ngayon, based on the literatures you've read, meaning yung level of stress can be manifested physiologically. Right? So, and you want to determine the level of academic stress, and you wanted to correlate it with their coping. So, ngayon, based sa mga literatures niyo, yung level of stress, kunyari stressful ngayon si Ma'am Reza. So, physically, pag stressful ka, you made mention of some of those manifestations. So, may mga physiologic. Meron din sa emotions where there is anxiety or whatsoever dyan, no? Na sinasabi nyo ng mga manifestations. Pwede kaya yung level of stress nyo in terms of yung physical manifestation. Mga ganun, good Ma'am Reza, hindi siya yung factor.
yes,
Siya yung factor kasi ang i-correlate nila is the academic stress Hindi yung, kasi may mga factors, yung level of stress, kumbaga ima-manifest nila yung level of stress nila. Like physiologically, may, yung nila ba? Ang ginami nila, academic stress, nila, no?
Actually, I am
academic stress.
I am confused din kasi their title is about level of stress. I mean, stress and
Yes.
And then may nakalagay sa taas na parang heading na factors affecting stress. So what do you really want to get in this study?
Kasi ang direction nila, Ma'am Reza, is stress, i-correlate nila sa coping. Kung may stress, magkakaroon ng coping.
Yeah.
Pero they're referring to the academic stress. So talking of academic stress, yung economic, for example, it's not academic related. Maybe they can have already the generalized na lang na stress. Yung stress ba, na hindi lang academic. Kung pag sinabi yung academic, you focus more on assignments, yung mga ganon in terms of academic availability of learning resources.
Yes.
Tingnan natin ano nila dito.
That,
Academic requirements lang, so okay yan, no? Academic stress man kaya, academic, how you define operationally academic stress. So ibig sabihin, it pertains to stressors related to academics.
yeah.
Of course, do not include the teacher as your stressor, right? Murshid, di ba Murshid? Like for example, ako ang teacher ni Murshid. Okay, so mas stressor ba si teacher? Academic related. So assignments, academic requirements, pwede yon as academic stress. Ano pa yung mga stressors? Yung schedule, no, related sa academics.
I think na-mention nila yung pinaumit natin na paragraph din in the introduction. They have there the different academic stressors na ka-enumerate naman.
Yeah, tingnan natin dito.
Yung last paragraph na pinaumit.
Oo, lack of time, academic overload. So meaning, ano ito? Academic lack of time to satisfy responsibilities, taking exams. Okay, taking exams. So ngayon, pwede academic, academic requirements. Or they need to read more literatures, no, to help them identify what are the academic stress. Aside from, pwede din examinations or mga assessments yung tawag natin na lang doon. No, different assessments or evaluation, ganyan. Aside from the academic requirements, so they have the examinations. Ano pa?
Pero sa ilahang RRL din, they have there the two types of stress, the eustress and the distress, the good stress and the bad stress. Ano ito? Siguro they have included because in page 12, they have there, according to the article, regression analysis on the academic stress among college students are having academic stress due to different reasons, that from their own family, friends, relatives, and neighbors, colleagues, professors, peers, and from their examinations. That is, I think, the reason why they have included the environment and the economic something. Is that so, students?
Yes, ma'am. I already stated po that kanina in the theoretical framework, ma'am, that I said that it relates to the topic because according to the article of Rajaprabha and Selvi 2021 on the page 12 entitled Regression Analysis, yun ma'am, the college students are having academic stress due to different reasons such as own family, friends, relatives and neighbors, colleagues, professors, peers, and from other examinations.
Dean, I think you want to measure the level of stress. Tama ba? Level ng stress.
Level of academic stress and the significant relationship of academic stress to coping mechanisms po.
Kasi focus talaga sila sa stress level eh. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, pag sinabi mong okay, I'm stressed academically, level, is it very low?
High.
Or I can just perceive it as high level of stress na talaga ako dito mga assignments ko, so very high ang level of stress ko. At ito naman yung level ng coping ko, mataas lang or moderate, Hindi naman pa. Parang ito si stress. Ito naman si coping. Yan. Coping nila.
Relationship po. Relationship na din. Correlation nila.
Yes. Stress tsaka si coping.
Pero let's not call it
Level of stress, excuse me po, pagkaintindi ko kasi dito as the advisor of this group, they are not going to measure the level of stress, but they are going to measure the correlates of stress. No? Kaya ang number one question is is the level of factors. So these are the factors that lead to stress. Are they exposed to this kind of factors? Yun ang pagkaintindi ko dito sa mga taong ito. Ewan ko, baka nag-iba ang isip nila.
And that is the reason why I asked Kagaina, ma'am, what do you really want to get in this study? Because I am also confused. What do you really want to know? What do you really want to find in this study? Sige daw, let us
Tell us. Parang,
let us ask them, what do you really want to measure in this study? Number one, is it the level of stress or is it identifying the factors that lead to stress? Alin dyan sa dalawa?
Ano po, ma'am, factors that lead to academic stress po?
Factors daw po din that lead to stress. No,
So yung mga factor po, ma'am, is yun po yung mga economic, environment, family and relations, academic requirements, lifestyle po, yun po.
That is why their title is correlates, Ma'am Esther. Oh, okay.
yes, ma'am. That is how I understood their purpose. Purpose ng study nila.
Okay, so okay, sige, factors.
So, ano po, hindi siya correlation ng academic stress sa coping mechanism. Hindi.
Correlation siya. Factors. Factors na talaga ang gusto nilang makuha. Okay.
So, kailangan natin bumalik sa, I think, title ninyo.
So, kung factors ang kanilang gustong kunin, if these factors are high, most probably, they are also, kasi ito yung mga factors leading to stress, most probably, they will be subjected also to stress because these factors are high in their, kung mataas ito sa kanilang mga buhay ng mga taong ito, ng mga respondents. So if these factors are high, most probably the stress will also be high because these are the factors that are leading to stress. Now, according to the readings.
Okay, so naintindihan ko na siya, ma'am. I thought they want to know the level of stress of the students and then they will correlate it to the coping mechanism. But factors pala talaga. So let us go back to the title. Let us go back to the title. So, correlate. Nawala si Dean. Na-busy siguro.
Okay lang ako, ma'am. You go on.
Dean, ibalik natin yung correlates of stress, Dean. Kasi they don't want, they are not going to measure the level of stress, but the factors that lead to stress ang gusto nilang kunin. Naintindihan ko na siya.
Okay. Sige, ma'am.
So, okay lang po tayo with the correlates. Ano nga yung, balikan ko muna yung original title niyo, wait lang.
Ano po, correlates of academic stress and coping mechanism of radiologic technology students during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Are we okay with this? Okay na tayo dito? Sige.
Sige, balik ang correlates.
Okay na kayo sa word na correlates. How do you define correlates?
Sige daw, ikaw daw, Miss Emilios, bakit correlates? Nakamute ka, Miss.
The relationship of academic stress and coping mechanisms po.
So you're still talking about academic stress and its relationship. Yeah, I believe you want to know the factors and if they have relationship with the coping mechanism. But since they are not really measuring the academic stress, should we add the factors na lang? Parang talagang specific sa title nila that they are looking for the factors. Not, kasi reading your title actually I really thought na you are going to measure the academic stress and then correlate it to the coping mechanism. Yeah, kay factors man di ay siya, if it is okay with the panel and with the advisor also, Esther, pwede specific na lang tayo factors. What do you think?
Opo, ako din. Ganun din yung, kasi nakakakosta ng confusion, correlates of academic stress. So maybe we could change the word correlates into factors. Yun lang
Actually,
po.
kaya nilagyan nila yan ng correlates para magandang pakinggan, di ba? Correlates. Yan ang reason dyan, no? Di ba? Mr. Paragas, yung correlates na yan para good sounding. Tapos makakonfuse man di, ay, naunsa naman eh.
Na okay naman siguro if there is actually pwede naman ding wala yung word na correlates or correlation. Yung sa academic stress lang, okay sana kung correlates of I'm still confused.
Tingnan mo, paganda-ganda pa natin ang ating nakaka-confuse pala.
Okay, I'm still confused. Let's have na lang to make it simple, like factors affecting academic or factors influencing academic stress and coping. What was that?
Actually, yan talaga ang original title. Nung pinakauna-unang title, gano'n. Tapos pinaganda namin, okay, naganda natin.
What was the original title?
Factors influencing academic stress. Yan talaga pinakauna-una nilang title na nasubmit. Later on, nag-usap-usap kami at naisipan namin na pagandahin. Okay, lagyan natin. Correlates of academic stress. Wow, kaganda. Makaligig yun ang tao. Ani, makabasa sa inyong title.
Makalingi sa kalibog, ma'am.
Kalibog. Ay, actually, nalibog ko, ma'am. Kasi their header contains the, kung titingnan natin yung header nila factors talaga ang nakalagay. Factors contributing
Yes,
to academic.
because that is the original title.
So that is the reason why I was really confused why they have the factors and then their title does not really speak about the factors. So pinaganda kaya lang na-confuse ako sa correlates. I actually asked Ma'am Gretel, Ma'am, what's the meaning sa correlates? I thought I understand what correlates is, but akong ginaisip, basig na po siya laing meaning. So, let us have, na lang, students, will that be okay sa inyo? Factors influencing academic stress and coping lagi ko kasi
Mechanism of radiologic technology students
during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay? So I hope nakuha
Okay.
yon. You have clarification? Okay na tayo doon? Sige. Okay, so for the introduction, syempre you will have to talk about stress and academic stress. And syempre the factors, you really have to highlight the factors kasi that is what your study is all about. And that you have to include readings about or literatures about the coping mechanism. Kasi parang nasingit lang din siya at the end. Hindi din siya parang nabigyan ng pansin si coping mechanisms. Okay? Ma'am Gretel, you want to add something about the introduction?
Okay, sa intro nyo din po, medyo sabugpod ang wordings bitaw, ang inyuhang pagkasunod-sunod sa inyuhang mga sentences, sa inyuhang paragraph. So, make it sure na ang inyong first paragraph nag-correlate siya sa second paragraph mag-correlate siya sa third, and third naman correlate to fourth, and so on. And also, para sa giingon ni Ma'am Ray sa kaganina, avoid lengthy na context sa inyuhang intro. So sa intro pa lang gikapoy na upasa again ang inyuhang readers kay naay part diri nga sakop niya ang isa ka page. So that's it. And again, katong inyuhang mga number stats, no? Inyuhang statistics, katong mga percentage data ninyo, make sure na naamoy references and citations kung asa siya gikan for us to know the validity, no? Kung tama ba ang data na inyong gibutang, katong percentage ninyong gibutang, o reliable ba tong mga percentage ninyong gibutang. Kaya syempre, research man ni. So, tanawon na siya sa mga tao na mabasa ani, no? Para reliable ang ato ang paper. So, that's it lang po for the introduction.
Okay, let's move on to the statement of the problem. Number 1, what is the demographic profile of the participants? We are okay with the age, the sex, the year in college. Is this okay or may idagdag pa tayo sa demographic profile?
Because they have included factors, no? They mentioned several factors here like economic, lifestyle, environmental, mga ganun ma. Can we include family monthly income?
Yes, kasi kasali yung economic, baka na stress.
Yes.
Sila dyan.
Kasi stress sila pag kunyari 30,000 ang monthly income. Pero si Mr. Saripa mukhang ang dami yung kalubinan dito ba? No? So Mr. Saripa, so pag may nyugan, syempre
Hindi na
hindi
stress.
masyado, oo. like si Mr. Paragas, hindi to stress si Mr. Paragas, so tingnan mo.
Okay, so economic, environmental, family and peer relations, academic requirements, and lifestyle. Are we good with these factors that they
Sa
have?
family kaya, Ma'am Esther, kaya pwede, kasi lang naman yan, kadang daw backgrounder lang. Yung family structure, no? Sa family, or okay na yung family income, economic lang.
I think we can include the family structure din.
Oo, kasi baka, for example,
iba baka extended sila.
single parent, o tapos, or single, they are being raised only by a single parent, no? Ganyan. Pero hindi naman natin i-correlate yun eh. Ang atin lang naman is backgrounder lang.
Sa profile.
Hindi, doon sa lang ma'am, sa demographic profile.
Sa profile.
Oo, lang naman yun, i-represent lang naman nila, hindi naman natin i-correlate yun. Oo. Kindly include na lang family structure. Tapos, doon sa questionnaire nila, they need also to include a checklist nila, whether it is nuclear, extended, ganyan, single parent, adoptive family, or inadapt lang sila, gano'n, no? Kasi minsan baka naka-apekto. And then, family monthly income. Okay, yung family monthly income. And then yung range ninyo, kasi wala namang family, like CradTech, syempre hindi naman bababa yan sa 20,000 siguro ang family income, no? Or sige, start na lang kayo ng 10 to 20,000. And then, kasi yung iba pinapaaral pala ng mga
10
tita.
to
And then
30.
20,000, 1 to ano. So yung may bracket kayo doon sa family monthly income.
Actually, Din, I am also confused if they want also to correlate the demographic profile to the mechanisms kasi they have that they don't have the question in their statement of the problem, but they have it in the hypothesis.
Hindi nila na-erase.
Oo. Pwede lang i-display na lang nila, ma'am, para isa lang isang
Oo.
ano lang. Pwede na yun, ano lang, balang at least meron lang tayong ano lang ba sa demos. Hindi natin siya ka-orally.
Okay, so kindly remove that in your
Ay, pagdating na doon sa results, sa sobrang dami na ng ano mo, ang dami ng tables.
yeah.
Okay lang yun, ma'am. Ano lang, i-present lang nila, descriptive lang yung ano, yung pagdating doon sa
Demographic.
demogs, and then mag-correlate na lang sila doon sa SOP 2 and 3 nila.
Okay, so kindly remove
Kasi
that
ba-
in your
oo.
hypothesis.
Baka maglibog na si ano, si Mr. Saripa at si Mr. Paragas. No, simplihan na lang natin, di ba? Okay, yun na lang. Demographic profile.
Okay, so let's start. Level of factors contributing to the academic stress and the coping mechanism. Siguro let's be uniform kung ano talaga yung mauuna dyan sa variables niyo kasi meron kayong statement na mauuna si coping mechanism versus the stress or factors contributing to stress. Kung nauna na siya number 2, sa number 2 or sa number 3 niyo na question, yung pagka-state nyo sa last SOP nyo, unahin nyo na rin si factors versus the mechanism. Para uniform. Ha? Uniform tayo. Yung pagkasunod-sunod lang. Okay? How about significance of the study? Radiologic technology students. Are we okay with the school administrators din? Like school administrators is talking about the admin kasi siguro yung sa akad talaga na pertaining to the academic na mga heads siguro din. Not or okay lang academic administrators ang gamitin. Okay lang.
Academic administrators,
Okay lang po.
including Ma'am Gretel, because she is an academic administrator. Madam Reza Gabilawan is an academic administrator. Okay, for all the academic administrators.
Academic administrators lang, not school administrators. Kasi
Oo, academic administrators na lang.
kung school admin siguro nasa mga board of trustees na yan. Okay. And then yung
Sa school administration, sa mga administrators, we are included, but specifically, we are included in the administrator side. But then, if you want really to focus more on academic administrators, so those administrators that are assigned in the ACAD, like research, ACAD heads, dean, ganyan.
kasi reading at their benefit.
Yes.
ACAD admin talaga yun.
Yes.
Tinutukoy nila.
Okay, ma'am.
And
So
then
that is clear now. So you are not confused anymore. Okay. So is it clear, students? Okay.
yung CHED commissioners din po din. CHED commissioners lang or the whole department or agency? Can we just have the CHED na lang? Let's omit the commissioner. Let's include everyone in the agency. Okay? That's my recommendation though. For the theoretical framework, anyone? Ma'am Gretel? Actually, sa theoretical framework ninyo, you have identified factors, right? Factors influencing the academic stress. Yun dapat yung nakalagay dyan sa theoretical framework ninyo. So, saan nyo kinuha yung mga nakalagay sa SOP nyo? Yun na sa SOP nyo. Economic, environmental, family and peers, academic requirements, and lifestyles. Yan ba yung nakalagay sa academic stress theory?
Ang dito lang kasi sa academic stress theory nila, fear of failure, interpersonal difficulties with teachers, teacher-student relationship, inadequate study facilities para sa academic stress. Itong sa academic stress theory nila. So wala yung economic, environmental, and etc. doon. Hindi siya nakasali sa theoretical framework.
Okay. So, kung saan nyo yan siya kinuha, kindly include that in the theoretical framework also. Yung mga sub-areas nyo dyan, I mean, identified factors, kasi we cannot see it in the theory. And at the same time, for the coping mechanism, di ba, you have placed there emotional-oriented. We cannot also see those things in the, what name is this? Monitoring blunting theory of coping. Na-gets ninyo?
May model of coping mode sila pero hindi kasali dun yung kasama sa variables nila.
Oo. So, saan nyo kinuha yung mga areas dyan identified ninyo under coping and also with the factors? Saan siya galing?
Sa theoretical framework po, ma'am, meron pong nakalagay dito na emotional burden in daily life and lack of support po, resource availability, accessibility, and activities po.
Where is that specifically?
Sa last po na, ito po ma'am, inadequate learning resources refers to lack of support, resource availability, accessibility, and learning style according to Oloyinka 2015 po.
That is for the factors?
Yes po, ma'am, including the emotional burden in daily life, hopelessness in shared activities.
Economic, environmental, family and peer relations, academic requirements, lifestyle. What do you think, Ma'am Gretel? And ganito na lang, can you elaborate more about the academic stress theory and include those variables you have, included in the statement of the problem? Para kompleto siya, okay? And well-supported ang inyong mga nilagay sa statement of the problem. How about the emotional-oriented and what was that again? Emotional-oriented and problem-oriented. Where can we see these things? So, diba? That is the reason why we have theoretical framework. We will be looking for theories, concepts, or principles where we can anchor our study. So, hindi ko siya makita. Anyone? Kasi you have identified their problem-oriented coping mechanism and emotional-oriented coping mechanism. Is that included in the monitoring blunting theory of coping?
Dito kasi sa model of coping modes ninyo, ang parang na-highlight nila is how a person avoids a problem. So ito, kailangan ninyo siya hanapan ng something na nag-relate doon sa variables ninyo na emotional and problematic na ano yun, na variable oriented, no? So hanapan na lang ninyo ng other theoretical framework which is related sa study ninyo and doon sa variables ninyo mismo.
Esther, do we have theories for like coping? That is more of like psychological theory, right? Or educational theory?
Actually, meron yan sila dito somewhere sa kanilang reading. Saan na yun? Marami pa gani yung types. Binasa nyo sa akin yun. Saan tinanong ko na yun sa kanila. Tapos may 9 kabuok problem-oriented coping. Merong 9 specific coping mechanisms doon. Diba? Saan nilagay yun? Saan nilagay?
That's what I am looking, ma'am.
Yes. So, I remembered, I asked them one time, anong basehan ninyo ng problem-oriented and itong emotion-oriented na ito? Ito, ma'am, meron ganing 7 types of problem-oriented coping mechanisms. Tapos meron 9 types nga pala yon ang problem-oriented and 7 doon sa saan niyo nilagay yon? Miss Seth Obilios.
On page, po ma'am, 25.
Yun.
Henderson, Marcela, Chetty, Odell, Guria, and
Yun.
college students used a variety of problem-focused coping techniques such as managing their time, searching for facts, and game and leisure activities. Or they use emotion-focused techniques such as anxiety reduction techniques such as exercising, eating a balanced diet, getting enough sleep, and engaging in tasty and optimistic enjoyment activities.
Okay, so yan siya ang basis niyan. So is that a model? Is that a model? Diba? I was asking you for a model of coping. No? So it's a model that was suggested by that researcher. So anong page yon, Miss Obilios?
Page 25. 25.
Page 25 daw. 25. Dara, problem-oriented. And then emotion. Method pala ito, no? May model tayo nito, Ma'am Esther. For this.
That was what I was asking for them. Sabi ko, you look for a model, tapos yan ang pinresent nila sa akin. Kasi ilagay yan sa RRL.
Okay, nasa RRL ito mga problem-oriented. Siguro, I want to see that also in the theoretical framework if they can look for models about the two. Para klaro talaga sa theoretical framework natin. Now, this is where we anchor. This is where we anchor our study. The SOPs, the things we include in the SOPs are anchored in this specific theory or model. So, yun yung suggestion ko so far. Hanapan na lang natin, if ever, meron tayong mahanap na model for this. Okay? Sige. So, how about the conceptual framework? Iba kasi yung nakalagay sa theoretical framework. Conceptual framework, any comment or suggestion? Factors contributing, coping mechanism. Actually, I'm okay with the diagram. Okay lang ako nito.
I think okay naman, ma'am. It is aligned with the SOP. Okay, let's move on to
Scope and
Yes.
delimitation. Scope and delimitation. Researcher-made questionnaire, do not forget that if it is researcher-made, then we have to have it validated by experts, syempre. So who will do the validation for pwede siguro pwede si Ma'am Girly para psych para sa stress levels. Yeah, si Ma'am Van. You look for experts to have your questionnaires validated.
Sa coping, pwede na rin, ma'am, psychiatric nursing teacher si Ma'am Lee. We can have Ma'am Vanessa, Ma'am Lee. Kasi iba busy na rin, dami silang i-validate eh.
Yes.
Nag-apply na sila.
Yes.
And we can have one academic administrator. Maybe you can have Ma'am Into. Ay, hindi ko siya or Ma'am Gretel.
Ma'am Gretel.
Ma'am Gretel. Yan, kasi may time si Ma'am Gretel. Okay. She will really spend time for that. Do not include me, although I'm an academic administrator, just don't include me na lang.
Sana all daming time.
Ah,
Sana all Ma'am Gretel daming time.
Oo, madaming time si Ma'am Gretel. Basta academic, mga scholarly work, dami siyang time. Basta scholarly work, diba Ma'am Gretel? Sige, go na yan si Ma'am Gretel, Ma'am Vanessa, and Ma'am Lee.
Okay, so please approach them for the validation of your questionnaire. Let's move on to the review of related literature. January to February pala itong scope and delimitation. January to March, itong sa scope and delimitation. Okay, review of related literature. Any comment? Parehas sila ng last group. According to, pagka next paragraph, according to pa rin. Do not abuse the according to. If I may suggest, kindly state directly the information and then let's just have the parenthetical citation at the end of each paragraph.
Ma'am, pag sinabi mo, I don't abuse according to, baka sa sunod na paragraph, according from. Biro lang students, biro lang. Kasi parang seryoso tayong lahat. Baka naubuso according to, basta according from, ha? You can make use of, may iba naman like furthermore, moreover, mga ganyan.
Kasi mahilig sila sa according to din. Like, the first paragraph is according to, pagkasunod, according to na.
Sige lang, i-improve yan. Nakasmile lang kasi Mr. Paragas eh, kasi dami siyang i-revise.
And then, this is not how we do the parenthetical citation, ha? I mean, the in-text citation. If you use the surname, if the surname is included in the paragraph, it's not included in the open and close parenthesis anymore. For example, skip word, and then yung nasa loob ng open and close parenthesis, yung year of publication na lang. Okay? So again, I hope naintindihan yun. We just include the surname in the open and close parenthesis sa parenthetical citation at the end of the paragraph. So just like this one, according to Moreira and Forigato, year na lang yung ilagay niya sa kasi ay yung pagka-construct nyo ng inyong yung inyong related literature, ganito halos lahat ng paragraph. You started with an open and closed parenthesis of the surname and the year of publication of your references. That's not how we do it. Kindly revise na lang that one. Following correct in-text or parenthetical citation. You want to add Gretel and Dean for their RRL?
Okay. So for your RRLs po, sa review na ko kagabi, I have noted or I have observed that some of those or some of your references are then cited sa inyong reference area. So again, kailangan tanan reference ninyo na sa inyong reference na page. Okay po, do not forget. Tapos also, as you can observe po sa inyong paper na tag-as ka ng lengthy bitaw ang inyong mga paragraphs po. So, try to shorten your paragraphs. Pero saying sa introduction, make it a relational sa inyong first. Kanang tama bitaw nga pagkadugtong-dugtong, wala nagsamok-samok ang ideas bitaw sa inyong context. So I think that's it for my comment sa RRLs ninyo.
Okay, sa title ng inyong themes sa RRL, you have there what are the coping mechanisms in a form of a question. Let's just be direct using coping mechanism or coping strategy. Yun na lang yung title ninyo for that section. Okay, let's move on to the, let me check first. You have your synthesis at the end. You don't have the synthesis at the end, no? So please include the synthesis at the end of the RRL. This is where you summarize the important information you have discovered in the review of the related literatures. And then the next part will be the methodology. Kindly remove chapter 3. Okay? Again, kindly remove chapter 3. We are using the IMRAD format now, so you will have major sections, introduction, and methodology. We don't use the chapters anymore. So what is the research design of this study?
The descriptive correlational design po.
Okay. So let's be consistent because I think you have included the discussion about quantitative research. So sa first line, this study utilized quantitative, descriptive, correlational design. Paki-add si quantitative kasi ang next sentence ninyo is talking about quantitative. Okay? And then your citation for the discussion about correlational study. Ma'am, batin lang mo, ma'am, lang may gusto i-add with the research design. And how about the research local? I'm okay with this research local. Sampling technique. Sige, what is the sampling technique for this study?
Pinalitan po namin ngayon ng stratified proportional po.
Okay. Kasi that's the suggestion ni Dean kanina. You will not have the total population, but instead we will have stratified sampling so that all year level will be well represented in your respondents of the study. Sige, pa-revise na lang yan ha. And then sa research instrument, kindly describe the questionnaire, everyone. So you have stated there that you will be making the questionnaire, but you have to state also that you will have it validated. And then aside from that, again, the description of the questionnaire. Ano ba yung nakalagay sa questionnaire ninyo? You will have the first part, the demographic profile. The second part will be about the factors. And is it answerable by yes or no, or are you going to use Likert scale for the questionnaire? So please, again, provide a description of your questionnaire there. Kindly transfer the ethical consideration on the last part. This will be after the statistical or the data analysis. And just like para uniform na lang yung format natin sa institution, first, you will have the review of the Research Ethics Committee, and then afterwards, you have to identify the different ethical principles that you are going to consider in this study. Okay? So for example, informed consent. So please provide the description. How are you going to secure, or are you going to secure an informed consent from your respondents? That's just an example, so you can identify more of the ethical principles. Okay, and then data gathering procedure. For the data gathering procedure, let us be uniformed also institutionally. Let's have the phases. So phase 1 will be the permission. So you have to place there that you will be asking permission, you will be asking approval, like for example, from the dean that you're going to conduct the study in the school, and sino pa ba yung kailangan yun ng approval. So lahat yan. And then the phase 2 will be the preparation. So that includes the preparation of the questionnaire, the validation of the questionnaire, and so on. That will be a step-by-step procedure, ha? In making the data gathering procedure, it should be, pwede siya ma-duplicate. Okay? Or pwede siya ma-replicate. So hindi siya dapat lakbang-lakbang. And then the phase 3 will be the data collection na. So how are you going to do that? Will this be online in a form of, in using Google Form? Okay, so you have to clearly state that one sa phase 3. Statistical analysis. Okay. Okay, I'm okay with this. Ma'am Gretel and Dean, human dyan ako siya statistical analysis.
Okay. So, balik lang ko gamay sa ato ang data gathering, ethical consideration, research instrument, sampling technique, no? I have noticed your tenses. Your study hasn't been done yet. So, kuan sa taha ka ng present tense ta. So, dili sa ta mag past tense, kay wala pa man panahuman. So, katura, since na mention na tanan ni Ma'am Besa. So, kato na lang, mga tenses ninyo, and some of the cited, kato mga reference na mali ang pagka-cite. So, ang format sa citing. So, mora to. Sige, ma'am. Proceed ta.
Okay, so the rest will just be little things about format and technical na mga things, like your margin should be 1.5 on the left side. And you have provided, it's good that you have provided the map, pero murag mo sobra-sobra yun na siya sa ato ang, pag ato aning i-hardbound, maputol na inyong mapa din, ha? And then, please include also in the appendices a copy of your informed consent, ha? I think you have not drafted it yet, but make sure on the final defense, you will have it. So I think that's all for me. Do you have clarifications? Baka may something kayo dyan na hindi nyo nakuha. Clarifications, questions, students? Wala na? How about si Dean? Okay na po tayo, Dean? Or may add ka pa?
Yes, ma'am. Kasi I mean, particularly lang with the sampling design that I mentioned earlier. I think if they understood already all the recommendations given by the panelists, we can proceed with the deliberation.
Okay.
Mga fast learners naman ito sila lahat. They were able to take down all the recommendations for this particular paper. Am I right, Mr. Saripa and Mr. Sparagas? Okay.
Yes,
So can I have your thumbs up? Okay. Sabi ng mga girls. Kami naman, ma'am. Okay, Miss Obilios, Miss Pendi, Miss Quiapo, and Miss Ligaspi. Okay, yan.
Okay. So, the breakout room, wait lang, i-add ko.
Okay. They can take, no? You can have your CR break for around 2 minutes, no? So that while we are having our deliberation.